Welcome back to the Marina Ground for this second semi-final in the 4th International Schools Tournament here in Corfu. We see the reigning champions, Joburg, won the toss, chose to bat against the Goenka school from Surat in India. And these two are competing to join with Jain in tomorrow afternoon's final. Will it be an all-Indian affair or a South African-Indian affair? De Nolan with a distinctive yellow helmet is on strike. Just defends that one down the track. An eagerly anticipated fixture this, and pleased to say that in a show of solidarity, the other South African team, Saheti, have come to watch their countrymen and good friends, Johannesburg Cricket Club, support them in this semi-final. That's played nicely off his hip by De Nolan. Open the innings for Joburg. They haven't really fired with the bat in this tournament so far. Bowled very well. And they'll be hoping to find some batting form today in advance of tomorrow's final. Still some damp areas on the pitch after overnight rain. And good conditions for bowling, you would have thought, with a bit of movement in the air can be expected. Also quite difficult to score boundaries at this ground, so very important that batsmen form a good partnership, good understanding, make sure they pick the gaps, get the ones and twos. You're looking to set a target of around 3 figures is very competitive. That's a good ball, a little bit of lift outside off stump, encouragement from the fielders. Sahil in again. Bowled very well in the last game we covered. Got 2 wickets there. A tall boy. Generally finds a good line of length. Mpumi, the batsman here. It's to be a good technique, a slight build, caresser of the ball rather than a hitter of the ball. As I said, with the quite long grass on this field, you have to earn every run. Very few boundaries for the taking, unless the bowling is very ragged. Off the first over.
Raj, the new bowler.
Raj, the new bowler, who's a spinner, so we got a combination of pace and spin. Bowled well in the last game too, and he's going to face De Nolan. Beautiful setting here at the marina. We couldn't see the top of the hills earlier because of the clouds, but we can now. Lots of boats in across Greece. Very popular stop-off for yachting holidays. People exploring the Ionian Islands and elsewhere in Greece. 40, 50, 60-foot yachts. Raj is in. Bowls outside off stump, just left by De Nolan. Lots of chat amongst the fielders, as you'd expect. A lot riding on this game. With the winner going through to play Jain tomorrow afternoon. That's a good shot by De Nolan. Pulls it in front of square. He should be well advised to keep running because it tends to pull up, as it has 2 runs to De Nolan. Bit short from Raj on that occasion. Raj again. That's driven, half stopped at point. Think about 2, go for it. That's well run. Good understanding between those two. De Nolan forcing his partner Mpumi to come back for the second. Spoke to the Joburg coach before the game, and he was really hoping his team would fire with the bat. It's just tickled fine. And the guy, it's a risky single. He puts the dive in very quick across the turf there, and Mpumi comfortably home. Slight delay while Mpumi takes his guard, changes his gloves. Sandwiched between two different sports here at the marina. Behind us is the Corfu croquet lawn. And, to our left, the marina. A few restaurants and cafes at the front there. Very pleasant place to spend an afternoon. It's a leg bite. That's an attempted late cut, but he missed that, possibly a bit close to him. And that's the end of the second over. So if you're wondering what a good score is on this ground, there's been scores of 120-130 earlier in the week. In this morning's game, 63 was posted and overtaken quite easily in the 14th over. A score of 85 plus and you're certainly in the game. Sahil again. So 9 for none of 2 as Mpumi adjusts his gloves again, waits for the tall imposing presence of Sahil, who comes in now past the umpire, and that's a powerful shot square by Mpumi, just given a little bit of width and seized on it, and well run back for 2. Tighter line, just defended out on the offside for no run.
In which player of South Africa in one mind? Which player of South Africa in one mind?
The player that's on your mind is the one with the yellow helmet.
No.
Tries to. Oh, that looks a little bit painful. Went for the pull shot, struck on the body. Nice to see the wicketkeeper quickly in to help him out. It's picked up short of a length, but he's taken his helmet off now.
No. Batsman.
Just a short pause here while Mpumi collects himself. Slightly painful blow, but determined to carry on.
No. Carry on.
So he's hitting again. Let's see if it's short again or whether it's full pitched. It is short. That's a great shot in the circumstances. That should go for 4, but but won't on this pitch. Denolan almost overtaking his partner there. A lot of confidence shown by the young Mpumi there, being struck off a short ball to launch yourself into a pull off the very next delivery. Be courageous. Still feeling a bit of pain, by the looks of it. Got a man back on the square leg boundary now. That's pleasantly driven, but straight to mid-off. Could be a wide, see what the umpire gives here. Yeah, wide's given. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name's Tim Brooks, bringing you coverage of the 4th International Schools Tournament, the second semi-final between Joburg and Goenka from Surat in India. And a good start made by Joburg. These two batsmen look to be accomplished. Played some nice strokes. And the prize for the winner of this game is to face Jade School from India in the final tomorrow afternoon, and the chance to pick up that trophy, or in the case of Joburg, retain the trophy. They won against the team from Athens last year. It's just opened the face, played that down the third man. Single there from Mpumi. New bowler Pratik. Heavy build. And again to Denolan, just defends it down the pitch, well fielded off his own bowling by Pratik. Three overs gone, 15 for none. These two playing well. The field is up at the moment. They're just a ring on the offside. Fine leg and third man, but no one on the boundary at the covers or indeed at mid-wicket. And that's played to mid-wicket. Just stroll through for a comfortable single. It's a good effort that just came off the edge, and keeper made a valiant effort to dive to his right, which just evaded his grasp. I think that didn't go. I think that was an attempt at a square drive, but just caught the edge, went past the keeper. So first half chance for Goenka. Pratik to Denolan, defended out his toes, good line of length from Pratik. tried to drive that, but just got stuck at his feet. Good tight finish to that over from Pratik. You might hear some background noise there, the lawnmower of the croquet lawn. As if by magic, the engine cuts out. Peace reigns Marina Ground. So a little bit of a discussion by Goenka. They know that they need to break this partnership, and they're thinking carefully about their field placings. Interesting to see if we have any close-in catches.
7-6.
Yep. Looks like we're going to have a gully. Could be a wide. Slips past the pads.
Kashish.
Kashish, the new bowler. Hoping to make a breakthrough here for Goenka. And Pumi turns out only lands a yard short of short leg. Lots of advice from his fellow fielders. Just letting that one go past him, and Pumi. Not a shot you often see in T20s. The leave. But they made a good start here, and he'll know that the importance of building a partnership. It's a nice looking drive. Pratik puts a big size 8 out and prevents another run. Brings De Nolan onto strike. Not sure the logic of having a fine leg and a third man. You could probably just have one and possibly move the other fielder into a catching position. Beautiful sight here from the commentary position. The hills in the background seem to have a bit of sun on them. De Nolan just leaves it outside off. In fact, it was a wide delivery. And well run back for 2, just to pick the gap there between gully and point. Could be the umpire was happy with that one. Ends the over. $25 for none or 5 overs?
9-7.
So Goenka's still looking for their first breakthrough here. Saw a couple of run-outs in this morning's game. Came about due to scoreboard pressure, as they say. The South African ambassador has arrived. Good to see him here. Had a good time at the Greek dancing night last night. Made a nice speech about different cultures coming together in this cricket tournament. Friendships being made. Cultural exchange. Really part of the ethos of this tournament that's held annually after Easter in Corfu. So, Pratik again.
How's it going?
Pratik again, that's a nice looking drive. Just cover comes round. They're comfortably home. That just lands in the wet patch just by the pitch. Good technique with that drive. Important to get the weight transfer into the drives to time it.
चल
Nice shot from De Nolan there, just working it off his hip. Very exciting to have two ambassadors here. South Africa and India supporting their teams. Have an opportunity to speak to them at the mid-innings interval, which I'm very much looking forward to. Lots of discussion about field placings here. I think the outcome of that is that fine leg and third man have been brought up, but not quite into a slip position. Slightly unorthodox field. That's pulled powerfully. That's going to get stopped. It's just going to be a single. Just played it behind square, which meant there was no chance for the fielder. Sudarshan, the new bowler, tall. Just dropped a bit short in length on that first delivery. Oh, he's come a long way down here. This could be out. He's a direct hit would have been out, but the fielder hands on head. He knows that if he had a direct hit there, would have got the breakthrough that Goenka so badly need. This Joburg opening pair looking well set now, rotating the strike, getting some shots out of the locker. That's kite in front of square. And he's quick, Denolan quick between the wickets. Into the 7th over, 30 for none. Solid base for Joburg. It's just defended, no run there. All the teams had a good night last night. The local primary school, band and traditional dancing. Seven overs gone. 33 for none. Got their eye in now, these two. Might look to increase the scoring rate as we approach the mid-innings interval. Still sticking to quite orthodox fields. New bowler Utkarsh. That's a good length ball first up. Mpumi leans forward, opens the face. Backward point. Backward point again. Mpumi just taking a bit of time to get used to this new umpire signals dead ball as the bails have come off. Back on now. That's a good ball, just popped up a little. Mpumi over a little bit of a slip there from the fielder. Still a bit of moisture around after the overnight rain. That's pulled powerfully behind square. The man on the square leg boundary runs round and restricts it to a single. That's played over the top of mid-off. Still doesn't go through the boundary. Don't get full value for your shots here due to the long grass just inside the boundary. But teammates really appreciating that. A little bit of class from Denolan. Just a lofted drive, made sure we get it enough elevation to clear mid-off. And I think on most grounds that would have been 4. And Mpumi tries a booming drive of his own but doesn't make contact. It's just defended on the front foot. And the end of the over. 37 from now on off. 8 overs. 2 overs to go until the interval. The mid-innings break. If these two can get Joburg up to 55-60, they'll be pleased with that. Maybe can accelerate through the second half of the innings. Goenka, meanwhile, will be looking around, looking to see where the first wicket's going to come from. Is it going to be a sunning catch? Or a run out, perhaps? Denolan rocked back there, but rocked back on the back foot, but didn't bounce very high and was taken by the keeper. This time out of his crease. And that could be out. It's a tip. Taken. Low catch taken. That's the first breakthrough for Goenka. Denolan, with his distinctive yellow helmet, trudges back to join his teammates and reflect on possibly playing that shot a little early. And took until the 9th over to break this opening partnership. And Denolan, batting so well, will be disappointed. Couldn't go on to perhaps register a half century. But he'll have plenty of time to think about that as he joins his teammates. Get a round of applause, quite rightly so. Played some nice shots in that innings. No, new batsman. Sadiq, the new batsman, comes in to join Mpumi. And as you can imagine, a bit more of a spring in the step of the Goenka players after they waited a long time to get that breakthrough. And Denolan was looking dangerous, but he fell on the last delivery. Sadiq to the crease. Just drives his first ball to cover. The next ball just evades the edge. Again, onto the front foot, plays it gently to cover. The third man and fine leg have been brought up into a deep slip and leg slip. It's the end of the 9th over, victorious one for Goenka. So wide. Last over was a wicket maiden.
Taking up too many balls. Don't you leave him?
It's an LBW shout, but he was a long way forward. The brave umpire to give that. Just to try to play the street, perhaps aware that he needs to pick his strike rate up, Mpumi. He's hit that one past square leg, or behind square in fact. Could have thought about 2 there, but just the 1. Just a bit short on that occasion, just helped it behind square. Towards deep backward square. Have a slip in place. Just defended at his feet by Sadiq. Pratik doing the fielding there, single to Sadiq. Going to go in the interval around 40. That's opens the face, thinks about a single, but thinks again. And turnover's gone, so that's the interval. And Joburg opening pair took them to the 8th over. The fall of the De Nolan, who was batting so well. And the match is interestingly poised. With 43 for 40, sorry, for 1 at the turnover mark. Take a short break and then I'll have some special guests. Delighted to be joined here by Mr. Topton, the Indian ambassador to Greece. Must be very proud for you to have 6 teams from your country represented in this tournament.
Very much, and it's a privilege to be here today.
And what does it mean to these players to come over to Greece and experience a different culture, make new friends?
Well, first and foremost, they are coming to a very beautiful part of Greece, Corfu, and secondly, it is the 4th international school cricket tournament, and I think it is a big thing for them to get exposed and to come to Europe, and especially to Greece, and to enjoy themselves with schools competing from other countries.
And since your time in Greece, have you seen the popularity of cricket increase, and what's the role of this kind of tournament in that process?
Well, as you know, cricket is primarily played in Corfu in Greece, and I think the Hellenic Cricket Federation, they are trying to promote very much cricket in this island, and I think it's a good step they have taken. Especially in India, cricket is a very big sport, and by exposing the Greek cricket to the Indian schools, I think it's going to attract a lot of Indians, especially tourists, to come to Corfu.
And is it your hope that these players can maybe make friends with local people and stay in touch after the tournament and pass on advice and stories and really develop friendships in the long term?
Well, as you know, Greece and India, we are 2 ancient civilizations. We've been in touch from very, very ancient times, and even in modern times, of course, the contacts are excellent. And of course, through this type of school-to-school and people-to-people contacts, our bonds and friendship will be strengthened, and also much goodwill will be generated.
So going back to the tournament, we already know that one Indian team, Jain, has qualified from this morning's semi-final. What do you think the chances of an all-Indian final might be tomorrow?
Well, I hope that the teams which are playing here, they'll play to their best of their abilities, and whoever is best and whoever can sort of put their act together, that team is going to come. And I do hope that any team coming to the finals will watch and will enjoy. And I do hope, of course, one of the Indian teams comes in and wins also.
But one of the important messages for this tournament for the Hellenic Cricket Federation is very much the spirit of the game, camaraderie and respect for others.
That's true, and sporting events are very important because it develops friendship, it develops teamwork, and through sports, of course, you generate friendship, and I think that is the message.
Thanks very much for your time here today. Let's hope an Indian team does well in the final, and enjoy the rest of the game here this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Now joined by the South African ambassador, Mr. Makaleta, who very proud to meet last year. You're here again for this tournament. You're clearly a supporter of this tournament.
Oh, definitely. This is a very important platform to bring about the kids to come and play a beautiful game of cricket, and it's always our intention to bring more kids to kind of expand their horizons of knowing people, knowing different cultures, meeting new friends and moving on with the world.
And can you explain to us the unique historic links between Greece and South Africa?
Well, the historical links are dates way back. Now I can say we have over 50,000 Greek South Africans in South Africa. Greeks have been there, part of the South African life for many, many years. And historically, people know Nelson Mandela. But next to Nelson Mandela, there's a very important personality called George Bizos, who was Nelson Mandela's advocate, who actually defended him when he was on the treason trial. And actually, people say saved his life because there was a possibility that he might be hanged. And so the relationship between our two countries are very, very kind of good, and we increase them. We know now that Greek is in a kind of financial and economic a problem, but then we are sure that they will kind of survive, and we are there to help them. We are all weather friends for Greek. Friends when things are good, when things are bad, we are there for them. And I think we have to kind of increase that kind of relationship in different ways. Now we're doing it with people-to-people diplomacy by bringing the kids here to Greece.
Yeah, I think that's a very important part of this tournament, isn't it? And I noticed that a lot of these teams come back year after year and renew their friendships, and that's really good to see. And I very much hope the boys keep in touch personally as well and help themselves with not only cricketing education but also general life skills.
Definitely. I mean, the important thing is, these kids who are here, most of them, we call them the born-free kids. They don't know anything about apartheid. They don't have any baggage of apartheid. And for them, they make friends much more easier. And I think this is important to bring new kids into every year so that we can expand their knowledge of other people. Cultural diversity is very important for South Africa. And for these kids, some of them, they come from townships. They have never been on a plane in their life. They've not even been out of their own locations, but they've managed to come to Corfu. I think that is very important because it shows the dedication, spirit of the love for cricket. And I think the managers of the Joburg Cricket Club and the Saheti who have managed to bring the kids here are doing a wonderful job. And I think we have to continuously encourage them to pursue the sport. We're going to see good players out of these kids in years to come.
And finally, any words about the Hellenic Cricket Federation and their objectives for this tournament?
I think we should actually allow the federation here. They've been working very, very hard. The president, Mr. Nikitas, has been kind of working very, very hard to kind of bring about more teams here. And I can assure you, in 2 or 3 years to come, we'll have more teams playing here. And we know we are going to support them. In any way they kind of want us to kind of help them, we will, because we think what they're doing is one of the important element in the development of kids.
Mr. McClater, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. Enjoy the rest of the match, and let's hope there's a South African team in the final.
Well, let's hope so. The kids want to bring the trophy back to South Africa, I think. We hope so.
Thank you
very much. Thank you very much.
That could be out, so they're certainly hopeful. They're surrounding the umpire. Not given, and they need to get back in position here. Umpire's given his decision. And they slowly get back into position. Really great to speak to those two great men there, the ambassadors for South Africa and India, talking about the role of the Hellenic Cricket Federation in developing cricket in Greece and also in supporting cultural exchange between nations. Back to the live game. That could be an overthrow, but sloppy from Goenka in the field there. And round of applause from the Joburg squad. And they've managed to take the score on. Now in the 14th over, 63 for 1 at the end of the last over. So this is looking to be a promising score for Joburg. Just tried to work that off his hip. So I didn't make contact. Joburg will be looking to accelerate in these last few overs. Got plenty of wickets in hand. That's a nice looking drive. It's just going to be 1 to mid off. .68 for 1 off 14 overs, 6 overs to go. We will see whether Joburg can get up into 3 figures. Certainly be their target. Only if he wants to.
Only for us.
So exciting last 6 overs here as Joburg look to accelerate. Goenka will be desperate for another breakthrough. That's played just past backward point, and that is exceptionally well run. 2 runs. Really athletic, these Joburg players. Mr. Makleta, the South African ambassador, has been a long-standing supporter of this tournament and a very inspiring speaker. Made a great speech last night. The cultural evening we enjoyed at the local primary school. It's a man with a lot of passion, a lot of conviction. His friend, the Indian ambassador, as well, speaking about his pride in having 6 teams in this year's tournament. Might well be a wide. It's given. Just lost his shape a bit there. Throws his head back in anguish. Hope you enjoyed those interviews. It'd be a great honour to interview those great men. Get their views on the tournament and the game. That's a good ball, just defended out on the offside, no run. The sun threatens to burst through the clouds and then sneaks behind another one. It's been that sort of day. That's nicely turned into mid-wicket for a single. Sadiq on strike. Comes down the track and hits that powerfully down to long off. A single. Can we get your own commentary there? Sure. Guest here in the commentary position, Sajid from Joburg, must be quite happy with what must be an improved batting performance. You were saying before the game that your batting hadn't quite fired, but some signs that it's starting to fire today.
Yes, absolutely. I think we've had a chat with the boys. I think the coach had a very good chat with them earlier this morning, got them in the right mental state of mind for this game. I think previously they were maybe a bit complacent and not quite there in the right frame of mind. I think you've seen a few of the games, and I mean they've all got the good techniques and the lovely shots that they do have, but it just their mental state of mind wasn't quite there. And I think today they're focused, and let's hope that they can continue.
This is, of course, the business end, as they say, of the tournament. So you'd expect the motivation to come through, a lot of pride in retaining this trophy.
Yes, absolutely. The boys, they've had a lot of chats with each other. We've had a lot of chats with our chairman back home, the media back home, and there is a lot of expectation on them, and there's a lot of pride at stake. These guys know that it's very important for our country, for our people back home, for us to bring this trophy back home. And it's not the end of the world if we don't, but it can do a lot for the community that we're trying to bring up in the more socially depressed areas in the inner city within Johannesburg.
We just did an interview with your ambassador, Mr. Macletta, a very inspiring man. He had some inspiring words to say about the value of this tournament and the importance of bringing cultures together. Reflected some of the similar things that he made in his rousing speech yesterday when we enjoyed local dancing and music.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
It must be great for the boys to have someone of his personality and eminence watching them on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. The ambassador did have a chat to the boys this morning in the team talk after the coach had a few words to say. The ambassador did come through and he gave a lot of words of inspiration, motivation, talking about we're not just playing for our cricket club, we're playing for the 52 million people back home. And overall, basically, his message to the boys was go out there, play with a smile on your face, and have a lot of fun. That is more important.
Good shot there. That could be out. I think that's been taken at deep square leg. So second wicket down.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Phumi has lost his wicket there. I think this is the time that Joburg has needed to step up the run rate a bit. We got off to a steady start, 4 and over after the first 10, and obviously needed to push it. I think the guys are very focused at the moment. I know the coach did have a chat with them on the strategy at the halfway mark through this innings, and they've executed quite well up to this point.
Phumi, I think, took a blow quite early on, didn't he?
Yes.
A rising delivery, went to pull it, struck him in the chest, I think, and very next ball he pulled it for 4. Shows some courage.
Absolutely. No signs of nervousness. These guys are brave. They take it on the chin. He looked like he was in a bit of discomfort initially, but
take it on the chest in this case.
Absolutely. The important thing is that you work through those next few minutes. Make sure you don't get yourself out while you're still in that discomfort. And as you can see, he's managed to play a lovely innings and seen it through 15 overs. So that's a very good innings. And now we've got our captain coming in, and hopefully he can see us through the end with a few lusty blows in between.
You're looking to get maybe 8 and over or so in these last few, taking into 3 figures, which would psychologically be great to have a posted 3-figure score. Not many of those being made on this ground this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I think anything over 100 is probably a defendable total. I think, as you say, 8 and over from here should give us about 115, which I think is most definitely defendable. Something that our boys will be quite confident of. But in this game, it's a funny game. You never know. It could have a collapse. You could score 115 and someone could play a blind enough inning, so you can never be too complacent. The guys will still need to focus on the basics when they come out with the ball, and make sure they execute the plans to come out on the right side of this game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see it at the halfway stage. There may be an important difference between, say, 90 and 110.
Absolutely. I think those 20 runs we've already seen we've played a couple of big shots and they've landed just a few meters short of the boundary. On another field, you might have think it would have gone scurrying to the boundary where the batsman doesn't even need to run. But I think you can probably add at least 20 or 30 runs to your final total to give it a more respectable look to it and what the actual real feel of that total is when you're actually chasing it.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Some interesting field placings in this innings. I was expecting maybe some people on the drive. Haven't really seen that. Did see kind of a deep slip and leg slip at one point. But other than that, it's been reasonably orthodox.
Yeah, I'm fairly surprised that they've got no one in on the leg side. I think they've seen that a lot of the guys are trying to just work it from middle and off to the leg side to pick up the single. And personally, as captain, I would have thought maybe just bring one guy in from the offside.
That's a strong shot coming towards us. One bounce four. It's pulled out way in front of square, so he's seen it early and bounced about 2 foot inside the boundary rope.
His umpire signaled 6.
Really?
I'm sure it has dropped slightly short, but we'll just have to see what's actually happening here.
It's a bonus.
Oh, I guess you need to take. I think he did have a look at the square leg umpire.
Oh dear, that could be out.
I think the keeper was slightly slow on that. Didn't look touch and go there though.
That was close, but I think he survived. Certainly got the message of what you were saying about acceleration, though.
No, most definitely. It's been a different strategy by Joburg today. Sadiq, who's gone in at 3 today, actually has been batting slightly down the order in the first 3 games of the tournament, and we said let's push him up and see what he can do today. And looks like he's done quite a fairly good job thus far.
Glad that we're actually getting these games in. It was slightly worrying at times yesterday, wasn't it? There was quite a lot of rain falling. That's another big shot. There's a man in the vicinity, but hasn't judged it very well.
Unfortunately, he never looked like he was going to take that one. He was circling around it and just misjudged it slightly at the end.
You weren't here for the first game, but there was one unfortunate fielder for one of the teams who put down 4 and it kept following him, and his captain kept moving him and the ball kept going to him. It's not nice when the ball's swirling in the air and you're maybe not confident, wish it had gone to someone else.
Well, that's the unfortunate thing about cricket. When you're having a bad day in the field, the ball just does tend to follow you around, and you know what, in the game of cricket there's no place to hide on the field, unfortunately.
One point I made earlier is I think with the ball slowing down as it is, you don't need a fine leg and a third man. I would like to see one of those players maybe in a catching position.
Yeah, most definitely. I think at this time of the game it's good that they've got a few deep fielders protecting the boundaries because the batsmen are looking to hit out. But I think early on when we just tried to keep the pressure on, there's no need for these guys to be out the ring. Even if it beats the inner ring, in all likelihood it's only just going to be 1 run. So I think you need, as a captain, you need to take that risk and say, hit me through my inner ring or go over the top, and by going over the top you're obviously putting a bit of risk into it, and the chances will come through that.
Or it's close again from the keeper, but or it might be even just assess it on a 5 over basis. How often has it gone to that player? But this is something that you learn obviously as you progress in your cricket career. Cricket is quite a complex, quite a subtle game, and of course against a good batsman they can make your field places look a bit silly by manoeuvring you round. So it is one of those. It has been compared to chess by some people in terms of the strategy of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tough job as a captain. On one day you could be basically told that you won the game for your team just through your very good captaincy, your place fieldings. But I mean, you get a lot of media and publicity. I'm talking more now about the professional level of the sport, where the guys will come down hard on you when your team has lost the game, and they'll say, well, why did you bring this bowler on at this time, this fielding position?
This is if he makes it here. If he did he make that?
That was a very tight run. I think he's missed the stumps. Unfortunately, I think a direct hit had him gone there.
Good batting though, because actually deliberately played it with quite soft hands, knowing that the fielder had to come in from deep.
Absolutely.
They're giving them a chance of two. It turned out to be quite a risky two, but nevertheless, just shows you that runs don't all come through power. Also come through thinking about the areas in which you can score. Because the man had to come off the boundary there. Therefore, he hit it harder. It would have only been one. Pratikin again. Quite sure where that's gone. That's gone down to long off. It's misfield, and it's going to allow him back for two. Pratik is furious. He has just furious with his fielder there. I'm not sure those two are going to be on the sun terrace later on.
I think the one thing we've seen from Joburg, which the opposition could perhaps learn from when they're batting, is the intensity that these two batsmen specifically have had with their running. I think there's a lot of twos on this ground, with the outfield being slightly thick. Putting pressure on the fielders as well. There you saw that was probably just one run. The fielder heard that they may be coming for two, and
just stayed a bit low, that one. Non-striker backing up a long way,
yes.
But
unfortunately the bowler just misfielded that slightly, which didn't give him the opportunity to collect cleanly and have a shy at the stumps. But as I was saying, just by putting pressure on the fielders, you'll get misfields, and that's what they managed to do on the previous ball.
Pratik again. So that's ball through mid-wicket. Again, dissects the fielder, so well placed.
Very good running.
But both had to converge, and that gave them time to pick up the second. And they are going well here towards that three-figure target we were talking about. Sajid thought perhaps 115 could still get that. We shall see. See where that's gone. That's an excellent shot straight. Struck the score.
And that's 100 up from Joburg Cricket Club. It's a lovely cameo of an innings here in this last few overs that the captain has come up with here. I like the intensity of the running. The few big shots are coming out when it's in his arc. And,
it was interesting that they took that on with the long on and long off back, so that shows a bit of confidence. He's gone again with one there. Four runs. This is Pratik is going to have to steady himself here. Not nice when someone goes after you. Not an easy time to bowl as well towards the end of an innings.
No, most definitely, and I think you can see a big shift from the first 10 overs where the Indian team may have felt they were slightly on top. I think it was very evenly poised after 10 overs, and there was a lot of noise out on the field. The Indian fielders were very chirpy, which is always good to see from a fielding side, and now you can just see that little shift in momentum where heads are starting to drop slightly, and for their sake, I think they crucially need a wicket now, just to calm things, let the captain get them in a huddle, have a small chat just for the last 2 overs.
I'm personally quite pleased because this is the first three-figure score that I've commentated on this week, so I was hoping for some runs.
Oh, lovely.
And, your team has provided them, so
I think this actually makes it quite a nice spectacle. Obviously, the Indian team will need to come out all guns blazing, given the fact that it is into the 3 figures, and we'll have to just wait for about 10 minutes to see what the final score will be. But it definitely will make it very interesting, this run chase that the Indians will come out with.
Interesting to see as well how the captain will react to his bowlers being targeted. No surprise that long on, long off a back. It's got someone at cow corner and someone at deep square leg. Big gap between those though. That's nicely played. Just paddled around the corner.
Very clever
and
shot.
should take two runs there. I'm not sure about 3.
I think he's getting just a little too excited there. Just needs to keep a calm head. He needs to see it through. These two batsmen have their eye in now. They've worked their target areas, and if they can see it through, I think Joburg will get to a very good score.
Plays the same shot again. This time with a bit more power. That could go out towards the boundary.
Yes, and that'll be a very good 3 runs.
That would have been 4 on most grounds, but just held up inside the rope. You're also your club making a short documentary about this tour. Tell us something a bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. We brought our own media guy. He's done a lot of journalism, and he's actually an editor for one of the big newspapers back home in South Africa. So He's been associated with the club for quite some time now, and he's taken a big interest in this. And being our third year coming to Corfu to play in this tournament, we've managed to have a lot of publicity. I'm not sure if you've heard the first time we came 2 years ago. That was the first time we got publicity in this club, and that was purely because we needed to raise funds to actually make the trip here. Obviously, it's quite a costly affair, and we managed to get a big radio personality by the name of John Robbie on board, and he went out and
skied that, but it's going to land safely in between long off coming up the fence and the guy at mid off. So, and ran two while it was in the air.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes it goes for you.
Yeah, so coming back to the documentary, so we've got a lot of public and media attention back home, so it'll be nice to actually show the media, the public, the big corporates who have actually sponsored and provided a lot of funds for Joburg to come to this tournament, to actually show them what's going on.
It's a good shot past between cover and extra cover, and they've already run two, thinking about three, but they're wisely deciding against it. Well, some of that money's gone towards what a snazzy tracksuit that you're sporting today.
Well, we've actually got these tracksuits generally sponsored by Adidas, so we do also have quite a few sponsors that have come on board, and
let's see where that's going. That's going to land safely as well. Oh, lost his bat, but he's still running, and this could be out if it's a direct hit. It wasn't. Could have an overthrow. No. That was quite dramatic.
Well, the umpire has called a short run. It looked like the batsman just dropped his bat and was unable to stick his foot into the crease.
What happened in the first game as well, actually. The team thought they'd reached the target, came charging on, and the umpire sent them back because one run was run short.
And I hope they still came through and won that game thereafter.
They did, yeah.
What is your take on the standard of play that you've seen, maybe not just in this game but throughout the tournament?
My feeling is that last year some of the top games in the semis were of a high standard. Perhaps some of those boys now too old perhaps to play in this tournament. The local team last year had a couple of very good players that are now in the squad for the Greek national team that are going to play European Division 3 in La Manga late in May. I've seen some promising players. I understand that some of the squads have perhaps had difficulty in getting their best players out for family reasons or financial reasons. But as you know, the ethos of the tournament is very much about taking part, building relationships, cultural exchange.
Correct, and I think it's a fantastic experience for youngsters. A lot of these players from Joburg have never even set foot on a plane before, and to get the experience just to travel to Corfu, it's a lovely experience to see another part of the world where they may never have done so in their lives previously.
Well, we're at Marina, so perhaps you could have a different mode of transport on the way back. It would take a while though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, we actually took the ferry and the bus from Athens to Corfu, and we'll be doing the same going back. So the guys will have a nice opportunity to experience the ferry along with the bus ride, which is actually pretty long. It's about an 11-hour ride, and then obviously I think it's about a 2-hour flight to Cairo with a bit of a stopover in between, and then 8 hours back to Johannesburg. So it's a lot of traveling. I'm sure the guys will be fairly tired when they get back, but that's all part of the experience.
So will they be discussing what they've learned about Greek myths and Greek mythology, or maybe just on their iPhones, listening to their latest tunes?
I think it's
who knows?
Probably going to be the latter, but who knows?
Who knows? They might have been inspired. So Pratik, that's could be, and I think he's claimed that one. Yeah, they live by the sword, die by the sword in that case, and that's a very good innings. I'm not quite sure what he.
Absolutely, I think.
By the looks of it.
Yeah, it's a lovely innings.
Came up almost a half century, so excellent innings there, and quite rightly his teammates and coaches applauding him off. Very good effort, and who knows, that could be a match-winning innings.
Yeah, absolutely. I spoke about, I think it was about 4 overs ago, saying that Joburg should be looking to get to about 115. As you can see, we're already on 119 with just a handful of balls to go. So maybe a few lusty blows from the captain here could get us past the 125.
See the happy team on your screens there.
Well, that's up in the air again. Looks like it's going to fall short, and that's
I
very
wouldn't
good.
say that was the most committed fielding I've ever seen. Could have put the dive in, but didn't really fancy it. I guess we are in the last over, and you've already conceded 119. But
Yes.
coaches will like to see players going for those, I think.